crazy.
Yeah.
Good diet. I mean, it's like, ugh, but the stress on me was rather incredible, and I just kind of pushed through.
Yeah,
So,
definitely good on you that despite the last 2 weeks being more stressful than normal, you still progressed just as much. You did exactly what you're supposed to,
and
right?
your presentation will show me better how.
Yeah, yeah. So here's a scenario. You're driving down the road and someone suddenly enters your lane and causes you to almost crash and quickly drives off. And you're here, you almost crash into this guy, but luckily you have fast instinct, so you swerve, you're able to get back on it and not crash, not die. And instead of like apologizing or going to the side of the road, this guy just drives off into the distance. You just see the back of his head and the back of the number plate. That's it. Then a few minutes later, you go into the gas station and you see the same number plate. You see the back of the guy's head, and he's entering the store because in this gas station, you have to go inside to pay to fill up your gas. And there's nobody else at the parking lot. It's just him, and you just pulled out right behind him. Now, his car is on, his car keys are inside the car, and there's nobody inside the parking lot. It's just you. Do you get the scenario?
Yes.
Cool. So this guy almost caused you to crash and die. He didn't apologize for it. And now you have multiple ways in which you can react to the scenario. You can get inside his car, run him over, and kill him. You can quickly crash his car and run off. Nobody will see. You can steal his car keys and run off. And that way he'll have to go to the dealer shop where he got the car. It's going to be a whole hassle for him. You can make a scene at the gas station, be like, yo, what the hell? You almost caused me to crash and die. What was that about? You can do nothing. You can just act normal, smile, and nod when you see him. You can apologize for almost crashing into him and wishing him a great day. Even though it is his fault, you can be like, hey, back there, that was me, my bad. Have a great day. You can go a step above that and be like, hey, back there, that was me, my fault. I feel so bad, I'm going to pay for your gas. Even though, again, it was 100% his fault, you could do that. And you can drop a bunch of cash in his car and say nothing. So let's say you have a $100 bill. You can take a $100 bill out of your wallet, put it in his car, and walk away, go about your day. Nobody will know except him. This is your standard. This is your aspiration. This is you at your worst. This is you at your best. A lot of people think that to be better people, to accomplish more, they need to rise their aspirations. They need to strive for more. But the reality is, we don't rise to our aspirations. We fall to our standards. Here's what I mean. This is your standards. This is your aspirations. This is you at your worst. This is you at your best. How different, Jim, would your life personally be if instead of apologizing to him and wishing him a great day, you dropped a $100 bill in his car without telling him? Personally, how different would your life be?
Personally, I certainly wouldn't drop a bunch of cash.
Yeah. But if you were to do either of those options, how different would your life be? Maybe a bit, like maybe. Like you might feel a bit better about yourself for a few minutes, maybe. However, if instead of stealing his car keys and running off, you ran him over and killed him, how different would your life be? In here, quite different. In here, the worst case is you go to jail for like a week, maybe. You pay $100 fine, couple $100 fine, maybe. Best case is you just take his keys and that's it. Here, worst case is you go to jail for the rest of your life, or somebody else tries to kill you. Even the best case is you're on the run for the rest of your life, and you have to be paranoid because you have to make sure that nobody saw what you did. And that's why I believe improving your best is beneficial, but improving your worst is crucial. All right, now let's talk about health and weight loss. So this is a person that does everything wrong for decades. This is someone that almost never eats healthy or exercises. Here's someone that eats junk food multiple times a week. If you just work out twice a week, don't really think about hydration or protein goals, get 6 hours of poor sleep, you won't get the best progress. If you only work out 3 days a week, drink water when you're thirsty, hit protein goals sometimes, get 6 hours of okay sleep, you would make a bit of progress. If you work out 4 days a week, drink water often, hit protein goals often, and get 7 hours of good sleep, you'll make even faster progress. If you work out 5 days a week, are always hydrated, constantly hit your protein goals, and get 7 hours of great sleep, you'll make even better progress. If you never have a cheat meal, you'll get pretty close to your genetic potential. And if you do everything right for decades, you will get to your genetic potential. You'll maximize what you're capable of. This is your standard, this is your aspiration. This is you at your worst, this is you at your best. Whether you eat ice cream 3 times a month or 0 times a month is going to make a pretty minuscule difference in your overall health and well-being. Going to make a very small difference. However, whether you eat junk food multiple times a week or every single meal of the week is going to make a tremendous difference. So again, improving your best is beneficial, but improving your worst is crucial. And the difference between me and most people is not what most people think. My best and most people's best is identical. From January 1st to January 8th, most people's best is most people's week is exactly the same as my week. Everyone works out 5 days a week that week. Everyone is hydrated. Everyone hits their protein goal. Everyone gets 7 hours of great sleep during that week. However, most people fall off. And the difference is my worst week, when things are completely awful, when all hell breaks loose, when shit completely hits the fan, when everything is awful and nothing goes right in my life, that means I only worked out 3 days a week. I only drink water when I was thirsty. I only hit my protein goal sometimes. I only got 6 hours of okay sleep. This is made my worst. Again, made my best is the same as everybody's best, identical. But made my worst is a higher standard than most, which is why I am able to sustain and continue to see progress no matter what happens. So yeah, that's the presentation, and hopefully the main key is the reason the example at the start was so absurd is because most people, no matter what happens, no matter how pissed off they are, no matter what mood they're in, they'll never act violently. Most people, right? They'll never be all the way here, right? Because they have a certain standard of who they are, no matter what happens. So the question is, why don't you have the same standard to yourself?
It's a crucial change that's needed. I mean, it's obvious when they're doing that.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, any questions or comments about any of this?
No, I love the example though, because it was so, as you said, outrageous. So over the top that I was wondering where you were going with it. Now it makes complete sense, because the changes can be subtle or they have to be major, and there's lots of in between gray areas like you've talked about before. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and yeah, it's important to remember that in everything, everyone has a standard. The question is, where is that standard? And if you're able to raise your standard to such a point that even you at your worst isn't that bad, then you win. Because again, improving you at your best, that's great. But sometimes there's only so much you can do. But you can go all the way down, right? There's a lot of bad things you can do. Because today, you can only do so much to improve your life. You can do a lot to ruin your life. If you wanted to, you can completely ruin your life in a single day. Right? So making sure that you're always way above that standard,
True.
That's going to make all the difference.
Yeah, that's a really good example. And I think too, as I continue to move forward, I acknowledge that sometimes I make choices that are not ideal, but my not ideal is so much closer to the middle than it is to over there. And it continues to improve. It's like 90% of the time I'm doing well. I have good weeks, good days. And then something hits the fan, as you said, and it's like, okay, well, I'll get back on it. I just got to keep trucking.
100%, because what's interesting is a lot of people are in these two ends of the spectrum. They do everything 100%, then they go all the way back. And that's a lot worse than being in the middle all the time. Because
Yeah,
again,
they
yeah,
say that yo-yoing is the worst possible because your whole system gets out of whack and you can't maintain.
yeah, and a big reason why I think yo-yoing is so bad mentally is because you have the expectation that you should get the same type of result as somebody that's always in the middle, because you think you can make up for it if you work really hard. But if you go all the way down, there's almost nothing you can do to completely make up for it, right? If you steal somebody's car keys, or even worse, you try to kill someone with your car, dropping $100 bill is not going to make up for it. Right? That doesn't work. Like when you go all the way down, you almost can't make up for it. So ideally, you want to avoid it altogether.
Yep, I agree. I
Yeah,
really, and I just appreciate your perspective and viewpoint because sometimes you like get slapped. It's like, okay, that's another way of thinking about it. But I really do like that. And so thank you very much. I appreciate it.
of course. Yeah. Hopefully, that example really ingrained in people's heads and makes them realize that YOLOing is not the way. Sustainability is the way. Something that you can do even when life is hectic.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Cool. See you.
Talk to you later. Bye.